So, what happened to the Georgia Satellites? The band's roots trace back to the early 1980s in Atlanta, Georgia. They began as a bar band called Keith and the Satellites, founded by singer-guitarist Dan Baird and Rick Richards. Both were steeped in southern rock, punk energy, and a love for Chuck Berry-style rhythm and blues. Eventually, the band lineup solidified with Dan Baird on vocals and rhythm guitar, Rick Richards on lead guitar, Rick Price on bass, and Mauro Magellan on drums. They dropped Keith from the name and became the Georgia Satellites. Their story might have ended quietly right there. Just another hard-working Southern band playing bars. If it weren't for a low-budget demo they cut in 1985, a British label making waves heard it and released it in Europe as Keep the Faith, which built a cult following. That buzz got the attention of Elektra Records, who signed the band and released their self-titled debut album in 1986. And that's when lightning struck. Keep Your Hands to Yourself exploded onto the scene. It was catchy, raw, full of twang and attitude, and completely unlike the synth-heavy pop and hair metal dominating the airwaves. The song shot up to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, held back from the top spot only by Bon Jovi's Livin' on a Prayer. The album went platinum, and the band was suddenly touring with major acts, playing on national TV and riding high on a wave of Southern rock revival. But success came fast and faded just as quickly. In 1988, the band recorded a cover of the swinging Blue Jeans' 1964 hit Hippie Hippie Shake for the movie Cocktail. Released as a single, the song reached number 45 on the Billboard chart. Their second album, Open All Night, released the same year, didn't capture the same magic. Though it included a cover of the Beatles' Don't Pass Me By and featured Baird's signature snarl, it failed to chart well. Their third release, In the Land of Salvation and Sin, in 1989, was musically stronger and more mature, but commercially, it also underperformed. Creative tensions began to rise. Dan Baird, the band's main songwriter and charismatic frontman, left in 1990 to pursue a solo career. He released Love Songs for the Hearing Impaired in 1992, which earned modest critical acclaim and included the minor hit I Love You Period. Without Baird, the Georgia Satellites effectively lost their driving force. The remaining members tried to carry on, but the spark was gone. The band broke up shortly after, fading from the mainstream spotlight. So, where are they now? The Georgia Satellites never officially disbanded. Guitarist Rick Richards kept the name alive, touring with different lineups through the 1990s and into the 2000s. Occasionally, Richards would reunite with original drummer Mauro Magellan and bassist Rick Price for short tours or special shows, but Dan Baird didn't return. Baird has had a prolific post-Satellites career. Besides his solo albums, he formed Dan Baird and Homemade Sin, which included ex-members of bands like Jason and the Scorchers. They toured extensively and built a loyal following in Europe and the US, known for high-energy shows and solid rock songwriting. Baird announced in 2017 that he had been diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, but after treatment, he returned to performing, though more sporadically. Rick Richards, meanwhile, found a home in Izzy Stradlin's solo band. Yes, that Izzy Stradlin, formerly of Guns N' Roses. Richards played lead guitar on several of Stradlin's albums throughout the 90s and 2000s, blending his bluesy style with Stradlin's punk-influenced rock. Today, the Georgia Satellites are largely remembered for one song. Keep Your Hands to Yourself remains a staple on classic rock radio and in karaoke bars, but to write them off as a one-hit wonder would be to miss the raw, rootsy energy they brought to rock at a time when few others did. They weren't chasing trends. They were playing loud, loose, and live, just as their Southern predecessors, Allman Brothers, had done before them. They proved that a great riff, a killer hook, and a defiant drawl could still cut through the noise. In the end, The Georgia Satellites had a brief moment in the sun, but their music left a mark. They were authentic, rowdy, and full of grit. Everything rock and roll is supposed to be. And while the big time spotlight may have faded, their legacy is still felt anywhere someone cranks up the volume and yells,
Don't give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself.